for sales position, if I was in a group interview like this, it would not make me very happy. And I'll just tell you guys that I'm looking for top performers, and I want to explain to you guys, I'm talking to you for those of you that are top performers, of why we do this format, and so that you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. We're scaling the largest roofing company in the country. Some of you guys are on here as from a commercial standpoint. For those that we're recruiting for commercial, this is a way for you to understand our culture, to understand me, to learn about me and what we're looking to do. And just so you know, um, it would be a disservice to make it feel like I was talking at you. You guys are interviewing me. I'm not interviewing you. This is the way that I look at it. This is the way that every top performer should be looking at it. You guys are trying to figure out where's my time best spent away from my family, so that I can help my family grow. I can hit my goals with my income. So all this is to say is that I'm going to give you everything I got for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you our company, our history, our future, our leadership program, our compensation structure, all that stuff, everything you want to know. Because if I'm sitting here asking all you guys questions, what's it going to be? It's going to be the same questions, and it's going to be all those same goofy questions that every sales manager is asking. You know, tell me about a time when. Come on, like they're the same questions, right? So, and I'm not being dismissive of that process, because it is important, and we want to ask some of those questions too. But at the end of the day, I want to tell you what we're looking for and see if it's a fit, because at the end of the day, it'd be a waste of time if we just, I was just asking you guys a bunch of the same questions. So does that sound fair? Does that sound a little bit better? And another thing too, for those of you that have been in management, that have seen people in larger organizations, have seen scaling companies grow. If you're recruiting at a high level, then that helps you grow faster. And so for those people that are focused on leadership and growth, they realize, okay, this guy's like committed to growth. Hey, I'm meeting with 30 people right now. And now we've got 4 more people that want to enter in the room. I meet with 40 people a week, telling them about what we're doing. That's why we've been able to scale so fast. That's why we've grown from 0 in 2018 to doing over 37 million. We've got 4 offices in Texas. So we're in growth phase. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. You should see here shortly Nathan on the screen. By the way, John from my company is on here, and John's role is to act kind of like an interviewer too, because I'm going to be sharing my screen and talking to you guys. And so his role is to look at you guys' facial expressions, your engagement, all the stuff we'd be looking for you to have it be front facing for our customers, because y'all are the face of the company. And so it just helps me to stay dialed in on there. So by the way, if you're seeing this live, and we're just streaming me, so don't feel like you're on the spot like oh man, I still hadn't quit my old job, I'm interviewing for this new one. No, so this is live streaming me. It's just to show our process, and we're going to use it for recruiting. So anyway, so without further ado, can you guys see my screen? Can you see Nathan on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Landon, I'm seeing you, but you're one of the only ones I can see right now.
Yeah.
Landon, Kelsey, Twister Chaser. I like that. The guy's chasing storms. So our company, let's see here. All right, here we go. So here's the issue that I had in the past, and then you guys may be experiencing this. I worked for companies that were the do as I say, not as I do type leaders. And these are the kind of people that they would call you up from the they would call you up from the bar and say, hey, I'd like another gin and tonic, and what are your sales numbers this week? And so that was really frustrating, because I felt like they didn't really have my best interest at heart. And I just felt like I was a tool for someone else's success, that they weren't really focused on trying to help me to achieve what I wanted to achieve. So that was, did I mute myself just now? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so good. Sorry. All right, and we're back. There's a couple of you that still have your mics on. If you wouldn't mind, mute them. I'm going to mute a couple of them just because I can hear some background noise. I get distracted easily. I'm like a goldfish sometimes. So anyway, so they were do as I say, not as I do type leaders, and that frustrated me. And so all of our leaders here lead from the front, meaning if you guys know who Jocko Willink is, he wrote a book called Extreme Ownership. It's about leaders taking ownership of everything in their world. and not making excuses. Everything comes back to me. If a crew doesn't show up on time, if a homeowner has something happen on the job site, how many times have you been in places where the leadership or the management's like, this was your fault, or they're trying to point blame on somebody else? And I feel it's really important for people to know that you've got their back. And so that's one of the things that's important to me, is to treat people like people. Our company's core value, one of our mission statement, or our mission statement is Mammoth exists to guide and protect neighbors by humanizing the restoration experience. And so that idea is one of the foundational principles of why it feels like family when people work here. So here's our commitment. I'm committing to two things without a doubt. One is tools. I've started for companies, and it was like, all right, so your training is, all right, go follow Billy for a couple of days, and then here's some contracts. Get to work. And it's like, and Billy's like doing his thing. He just, he's trying to get his job done. So yeah, he's a trainer, but I don't know. It just felt like there wasn't ongoing, continuing growth, and training. And I think that's the key to scaling an organization, is good training. And so that's why we created Mammoth University, which is an online platform. That's why we do in-class training right here in our office, our corporate office. That's why I do, and that's where we're at. And that's why we do in-field training, which means that we have guys in the field that are training our team. So we give you the tools. Number one. And number two is we treat people like family, in most capacities. One of the things with building a championship team is that we are a meritocracy, which means that we hire, fire, and promote based on your commitment and your contribution. And so that's why people that just got started with our company are already moving into leadership positions. It's because we are highly committed to this idea of scaling the company. Because I mean, let's be honest, roofing's not sexy, but scaling and growing a company to $1 billion is. People don't want to go somewhere where they're going to feel like they're going to be, put into a position where they can't grow. I've worked for small companies where, ma and pa owner don't want to grow. So it's like, I'm just, whatever I was doing, I was just making the money. And then the larger companies where you step up and you perform, but there's nowhere to go unless somebody passes away or moves away. And so now what we've created is a business in an industry that's built for scale. Let me tell you why the industry is great. For those of you that don't know about roofing, I'll just share this with you guys. Roofing is in my opinion like the best industry. I've traded stocks at one point. I had a Series 7 license. I was a mortgage banker and broker. I sold insurance. I've done all kind of different stuff, but I never knew the kind of money you could make. And I'll share this with you guys, not to brag, but just to because I'm hiring top performers. So when you tell somebody like, hey man, or hey lady, you're going to come here and you're going to make six figures. Okay, well, you should make six figures in any sales organization that you're working in, because the top performer in sales in any capacity should be able to make six figures. What roofing has done for me is allowed me to make multiple six figures in a year. And because we're live streaming, I'm not going to say the number here, but I'll just say that it changed my life. And roofing changes a lot of people's lives. And here's some of the reasons. One is we're dealing with large ticket items. We are selling something big, and something big has a big price attached to it. If we're selling cell phones, some of you are in mobile tech, you got to sell a lot of cell phones to make a good living. Whereas in roofing, you sell 3, 4, 5 jobs a month, and you're making really good money. It's tied to the insurance industry, which makes it recession resistant. You guys are in Central Texas, you know this. We get hit with hail every single year. Already this year, we've had 3 storms hit and hit San Antonio. They hit Kerrville. They hit Temple, where we've got an office. And so tons and tons of work, and it's just getting started. I mean, this is the hub of hail. I mean, it just is. But it hails all over the country, and that's how we're going to be able to scale. So it's not tied to the a lot of things that make things susceptible to problems with recessions, like the car industry, right? And even during COVID, COVID, the construction industry actually was still thriving during COVID. Um, so and we're selling directly to the decision makers. So and I sold medical for a while. So if you're selling medical equipment, I've got to meet with the nurses. I've got to meet with um, the come on, help me out here. The now they knock you out. Like, what is it?
Oh,
Anesthesiologist. Thank you. Man, I hadn't had my coffee this morning. So, anyways, you got to go through a lot of gatekeepers to get to the decision makers, right? So, we're dealing directly with the people that pull the trigger. So that's another great thing. They have to buy now. So, unlike capital budgets for bigger things like the medical equipment sales, I didn't have to wait till the year came up. Like insurance sales, I don't have to wait for the policy to renew. They buy now. He'll hit San Antonio. These people are getting their roofs put on right now, and most of them are going to have their decisions made in the next 3 to 6 months. So this idea that we have to wait around or cultivate, I mean, it is now. It's also why there's a lot of competition in the business. And lastly, it's an emotional thing. It's people's castle. It's their home, and so it's kind of like a wedding. The prices go out the door during a wedding, right? The dress, the venue, it doesn't matter because people. It's that one special day because it's tied to an emotional event, and that's why roofing is so big because it's tied to people's homes. Um, if you've done your due diligence, you've done some research on our company. Just to kind of expand on that, we started quickly. The very first year was the first full year was 2019. We did about 6 million, and then we've grown from there. Right now, we've got licenses in Florida. I've got license in Illinois. We're looking to expand into different states that have more profitable markets. Texas is because there's so much hail and because there's so many roofers down here. It's not as profitable, but fortunately, we know how to deal with insurance companies, so it allows us to be able to run our business pretty efficiently. But in those other markets, it's even better. So we're looking to grow into other states as soon as the end of this year. So we have 4 offices in Texas. Growth is the real opportunity. And just as an aside, real quick, this is something that's important for us and for people that are looking at coming to our company. What's up, Kai? How you doing, man? Integrity, reputation, growth, service, and relentless advocacy. And so integrity is number 1 for a reason. It's paramount to growth of any organization. And by the way, nobody would want to work for a company or a leadership team that they couldn't trust. If someone's untrustworthy, I mean, I mean, you guys that are in the roofing space, this. There's a lot of bad guys in our space. Same thing with solar. Same thing with a lot of things. That are scalable like that. And so being able to trust is really important. And I think another piece of this too is the growth, and then the service. So integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Reputation is my reputation, our company's reputation. Everybody here, the way they operate is gonna affect whether or not somebody's going to be able to produce results for their family. So if I went to a restaurant, I'm wearing Mammoth stuff, and I'm cussing at somebody. Well, okay, that's a reflection of our company. So we protect our reputation at all costs. The growth is what people are really attracted to. Is there's a focus on growth. It's not like I'm going to come here and I'm going to tuck in. I'm going to hit status quo. I'm looking for people that are ready to make an impact now. I don't want somebody to come in here and say, oh, well, I'm going to train for 90 days. I'm going to train for 6 months, and then I'm going to sell a few roofs, and I'm going to learn the business. And next year I'm going to do that. Like, you should expect to come in here and be able to make 6 figures. If you're a high impact player, which is what we're looking for, because I'm looking for people that can help us grow in leadership. I don't want somebody that's just going to come hit status quo. I want them to come in here, learn the business, sell a bunch of roofs, and let me put them in a leadership position to teach someone else. Wealth is created by passive income, real estate, stock, and most importantly, building companies and building teams. 80% of the world's self-made billionaires did it by buying companies and investing in companies. So guess what? You're investing in a company, which is the one that you're building for yourself. Everybody here feels like they're building Mammoth with me, right? Because if they come in here and they start growing a team, they're creating residual and passive income because they train the skills of what they've learned. Think about it. I can only sell so many roofs in a year, right? So what I did was I've leveraged my knowledge and leveraged my skill to show other people how to do it so that I can get a piece of all that. I get a smaller percentage, of course. I get a really small percentage, but I'm doing it at scale. And so as you build your teams out, you're building your own business within a business. And the way we set up our comp plan is how I've been able to do that. So let's talk about it. The way our comp plan is set up, okay? If you're in the roofing space, especially, you guys know this, all right? There's only a couple ways people get paid. One is based on profit, okay? Two is based on gross sale, all right? When people are paid based on profit, here's the good thing. Generally, especially with companies that pay like your 10-50-50 split or your 12-50-50 or even like a 10-40-60, whatever that is, typically when that happens, the sales rep is doing the lion's share of the work, meaning like they have to order the measurement, do the estimate, meet with the homeowner, close the deal, schedule the crews, write the work orders, send the work orders to the supply house, make sure it gets delivered. They have to meet the crew on site, run materials as needed, make sure the job's buttoned up, do the inspection at the end to make sure that's done right, do a qual check. They've got to send supplements to the insurance company, communicate with the insurance company, wait on hold to talk to managers to try to get supplements pushed through, send mortgage company. They have to do a ton of stuff. And for high performing sales people, they have a really big need for drive, and most of the time are not real detail oriented. That's just the truth. And what a lot of the models in compensation have set up is they're making sales reps do everything, and it's impeding them from being able to get the next sale. If a guy's spending 40% of his time focused on stuff that doesn't get him new business, then he's leaving 40% of what he could be getting out there. All right, we're good. He's leaving 40% of what he could get out there. So the way we set this up is I want salespeople selling. So I take away 90% of all the headaches to where instead of going and doing all this extra work, you're able to go out and sell and still paying a really high percentage. So let's talk about that. One of the things that we were challenged with when we first opened doors, we're trying to pay based on commission only, right? Well, if you pay commission only, you got high performing people that are used to making good money. If there's a gap of 6 to 8 weeks where you're trying to wait for jobs to get closed and paid out, guess what? They can't pay their bills. So it was difficult for us to be able to recruit good people in here because there's a gap between the time that you start making the 5-figure checks. And so I had to solve that problem. I also was trying to solve that problem by just paying a salary. And the problem with just paying a salary is salespeople aren't as motivated if they don't have any reason to go out and sell. So it was a catch-22, really. So what I did was I said, look, I want to provide a guarantee for somebody when they come in here so that we know that they're going to be able to make some money and also give them a chance to make what they're used to making. So here's how we did it. And this is how we've been able to scale. When someone starts here, I'm going to guarantee them a certain amount just for going through the training program. It's $2,750 just for going through the training program. You got to check the boxes, go through the training program. Now, nobody comes here for making $2,750. They come here to make the 5-figure months, right? So how do I get somebody to be able to make 5 figures as soon as possible? Is been the challenge. Okay, fresh hailstorm, pretty easy. By the way, if you've been recruited by roofing companies, it is. Come on, Billy. Come on. You're gonna make 6 figures. Just come on here. Go knock some doors. We got you. Let's do it. They're really pulling on it, really selling you on it. I'm gonna tell you the goods, the bads, the uglies, but I also tell you how we solve this problem. So when someone first starts, they get $2,750 just for going through the training program. It should take 4 to 5 weeks. If they set an appointment and we get it closed, they don't know anything about roofing, but they know how to talk to people. They set an appointment and we get it closed. I pay them half the commission. I'm gonna say that again. I pay them half the commission just for setting the appointment. So if you've worked in solar, roofing, pretty much any sales industry, brand new people, they get a tiny little chunk because they don't want to invest too much in people that they don't know if they're going to make it or not. You follow me? So what we've done is we've created a culture where our sales team, they are excited to pay half their commission to that sales rep because they don't have to go out and get the business. They're sitting there closing 2, 3, 4 deals a day with someone else setting the appointment, right? The benefit of the people that are setting the appointment is they don't know nothing and they're already making good money. But once they graduate, meaning they learn how to sell the roofs, now they go to our full-time sales rep plan. And here's what that looks like. You are guaranteed a percentage of the gross sale. So I pay based on the gross sale. All right. 8% is guaranteed. At volume, you can make up to another 4%. So a 50% increase in your income just by selling at volume. And the volume is set up so that you can hit it. I want everybody to make 12% on the gross sale. That's my goal. And the good part about it is, let's say you're starting in April. Well, you've already missed 3 months. So you've already missed those 3 months to create that opportunity. But the good news is we're about to hit storm season. So there's never been a better time to be in this business, by the way. We hit storm season. Now you're going to sell more than what you would normally sell throughout the year. Let's say you miss it in April, you miss it in May, but you crush it in June because now you got experience. Now you've got the sales. Now you've got your pipeline built up. When you hit your year goal for whatever tier it is, we retroactively pay you for the whole year for whatever that bonus would be. So you're never out of the running if you miss a month, which is huge, by the way. On profitability, I allow reps to make decisions on profitability too. Like if they got an under profit job, but we want to try to push it through, I allow them to make decisions with me. If you hadn't figured this out by now, I am all about the sales rep. And sometimes it ticks off my operations and production team. And the reason is because I was a sales rep. And the way I wanted it to work was I wanted to sell a bunch of money, sell a bunch of jobs, make a bunch of money, and not have to worry about a lot of BS and enjoy my life. Because if you're working this hard to make the money, then you should be able to enjoy your life. Like that's what we're doing this for, is for our families, right? So that's how it works. Is you're by the way, I didn't mention this, but after 60 days, we offer health and dental. You're W-2, so it's different. It's a lot more. The 1099 is probably going away pretty soon because of the way that the federal law is now for 1099. If you're a 1099 employee that gets more than a certain percentage of your income, you actually have to be a W-2. You're considered an employee. So we're covered we're covered as if you were an employee, right? Which is good. So all good news, right? Multiple six figures, a growing company, benefits, health benefits, dental benefits, can make great money. Here's the catch, and there's always a catch. This job is really simple. We go out and bust our butts. We hustle. We go out in the markets where we know that there's hail, and we get on the roofs. We sell the customer. We have them sign a contract. We meet the adjuster. We get it approved. We put the roof on and collect the money. Simple. It's not easy. Any roofing company that's telling you if this is easy money, you're going to make a whole ton of money. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's hot. We got to get on roofs. We got to be in the field when most people would like to be at home eating dinner with their families. During the summertime, we work Saturday. You got to make a decision. Do I want to make multiple six figures or do I not? There's a sacrifice. We work hard. We work hours that are weird. And we work when people would like to be home with their families. That's the truth. Okay. The flip side of that is it's a little easier during the wintertime. For those are the guys that are just selling, they don't have to really, they're not pushing for leadership or whatever. It's a lot easier because they'll make their six figures like before Halloween. And now they're coasting through Christmas. Like when I was traveling the country storm chasing, I was done. Like we were in Minnesota. Minnesota's done before Halloween. I'm back home trick-or-treating with the kids, playing golf all winter. It was great. All right. So there is a little bit of a change in that. But I will say this. For our company, the fact that we're scaling, we're growing, we're building leadership teams. We're building during the winter our teams when everybody else is scaling back, restricting, don't have a plan to scale. All their sales guys are burnt out because they don't know where to go or how to get business during the wintertime. If you've been in the roofing business, how many companies have you worked for that were like, sorry, no more work? We've doubled our sales staff in the past 8 months throughout the winter. It's because we have systems in place for growth. And for those of you that are looking for the next thing, like they're going to make a little bit more money, work for another 3 to 5 years, and then go to a different company, this is not for you. I'm looking for the people that see the value in what we're building and are like, I want to be there. I want to be a part of that. I want to be at a place where people respect me, that give me the tools that I need, that are looking to help me grow as a person and as a leader and build my career up. Finish the freaking search. You guys are all here for a reason. It's because you're tired of the BS of what's out there already. I know what it's like. I've worked for other places. I worked in corporate America for 20 years. I thought you had to wear a suit and tie to make big money. I mean, I normally wear a polo, but today I chose to wear a t-shirt. Okay. We make good money, guys. It's just not easy. And that's the truth. So if it's a cushy job, it's not a cushy job. But it's a lot more fun when you're working with other people that have the same mindset. Like our guys don't look at this as a chore when they get up. They come in the office, like we have a good time in here. I put on music when I'm in here. Our trainings are awesome. We got like little, like it's fun. It's just not easy, but that's why we make good money, real good money. If you're live streaming with me, if you have not seen growwithamammoth.com, that's a place where you can see different stories, different things about us. There's a personal letter from me, and just tells my story. And just to share this with you guys, we're just going to leave it, Luis. I went bankrupt in 2010. I'm not proud of it. It's just part of my story. It is what it is. But I went bankrupt. The truth is, I lived in Dallas, Texas, and if you ever heard the term $40,000 millionaire, right here, I was that guy. I was making about $40,000, but I had credit cards, and I would buy the bar. We'd go in there, it'd be 15 people, be like, "Yo, Scotty's got it. Let's do this." I was trying to show off because I was insecure and I wanted to show people how much money I made. And the truth is it got me bankrupt, and I had to learn that lesson the hard way. So that's what happened. And so for those of you that are in a tough financial position, if you've ever been broke, if you've ever been depressed, I was depressed about the situation that you're in, and you're looking for that one thing that's like where can I, like, roofing did it for me. If you can't tell, I'm passionate about roofing. Roofing changed my life. You get 50 grand in a month, it'll change your life because you see what's possible. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. But that's also why I understand for those people that have been through, that are going through the ringer. I understand where you're coming from. And for me, I was blessed enough to have an awesome woman in my life that helped me through it. And if that's not the case, then I just want you to know that I'm very passionate about helping people that are willing to help themselves and providing that opportunity. So here's the leadership program. When you start, you're an NCG, which means None Cho Ga, which means big baby animal in Han, the language of Han. When you graduate, you become a mammoth. And then as you continue to build, we put you with a herd leader who is responsible for working with anywhere between 5 and 15 mammoths. And then the next level up, which is and the herd leader is kind of like a location manager. The mastodon is the next level up, which is like a general manager or branch manager that runs multiple branches. We've got 2 mastodons already that we've promoted just in the past 12 months. We've promoted now 1 herd leader. We're looking to promote 2 more this month or next month. So we're growing, and I'm looking for people that can step into that position. Ultimately, the plan is to have offices nationwide. We're going to have regional people that are what we call saber tooths. That are going to be regional managers that are going to be managing multiple regions in the United States, and that's the vision. So kind of wrapping up here, and this is one thing that I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about. But this is the last thing we're going to talk about. I don't know why this slide's hidden. Oh, here it is. So if you guys know who Grant Cardone is, Grant Cardone's awesome sales guru, right? He said this. He says there's only 2 choices: either success or failure. And if you know those are your only 2 choices, then it is your duty, obligation, and responsibility to your family to execute. You wake up every day. If you know that you only got two choices, for me, there is no choice. That's why I wake up early. That's why I'm in here early. That's why I'm really work really hard with my teams. That's why I'm always trying to come up with new stuff, because that's my commitment. And I feel the same way about everybody here in our company. You know, there's a guy named Brad Lee. If y'all know who Brad Lee is, he created Lightspeed VT, which is a virtual training program. Tons of money. But he said this. He said, imagine if I gave you a briefcase that had $10 million in it. It would change your life. I mean, for me, I've told this story. I've already spent the money. Mom's house getting paid. I'm taking a year off. I'm paying all my houses off. Everything's getting paid. I'm getting 2 new cars. I already know what I want. But what if he said, there's always a catch, remember? What if they're handing you this briefcase and they say, but the only thing is, you don't get to wake up tomorrow. Nobody takes the money. It's because our time on this earth is more important than any amount of money. And so the last thing I challenge you guys with, because I'm gonna open this up for questions. I want to talk to you guys. Last thing I'll challenge you guys with is what are you doing with your time on this earth? Is this the next job for 3 to 5 years where you make a little bit more than you made last time? Or is this the job that changes your life? Because roofing changed my life. And I believe I've put on this earth for a big reason. I don't know why yet. But for now, I know how to sell roofs, and I'm teaching as many people as possible how to sell roofs because it changed my life. And so when people come here, my only goal is to teach them how to sell roofs. One of the things that that I also think is really good about what we do is we're not just selling something that people don't need. Okay, we're giving them a service that they already need. That's how we're serving people. Is we don't look at people as profit or projects. Every person is a human being that we're solving a big problem for. And so not only are we making good money, we're helping people solve a problem in an industry where there's a lot of bad guys. You may not know this, but there are a lot of bad guys in our industry that take people's money, that take advantage of them, that make big promises. They say every person that's ever tried to sell against us will tell you that they are the best, and they're fine. But you got to prove it every day. You've got to be able to execute on your promises. And so that's why we have systems for everything. Everything is on a system here because we've got to be able to commit to our promises. And if Landon is going out and selling a job, Kai's going and selling a job, Lori's trying to sell a job, and I don't do what I say I'm going to do, now you look bad. You ever work for somebody that didn't do what they say they're going to do? It's a nightmare, especially if you got integrity. So that's what I'll leave you guys with is what is your next move? We are looking for people that think like we think, that are looking to scale, looking to grow, willing to commit, willing to put in the time and effort and take care of people. We look for people that like people because we want to help. We want to give our customers this great experience. We call it our boutique experience. So I'm going to stop my sharing screen and we're going to wrap this up. So hopefully, I've gone a little bit longer than I normally do. I'll be transparent. I usually can do this in like 20 minutes, but I'm just like, I don't know. This is a good call. I felt good. I felt the energy from you guys. But here's where I'm at. I'm going to share on this chat right now. It's a link. And by the way, I don't know if it's a link. Let's see here. So this link is going to be a post. It's a group form, or it's a form that you fill out, and it's going to send a note to John on our team. And what John's going to do is he's going to reach back out to you. All right. I'm just going to turn this off since it's just people. So John's going to reach back out to you and do a one-on-one. Okay. So you're going to get to meet personally with John to ask individual questions. We're going to ask you a lot of questions. Like we got to find just the right people. Like I know there's a big group of people. So, the benefit for us is we get to talk to a lot of different people. So we're real specific about who we bring into our organization because we have high expectations. I don't want somebody that's going to hit status quo. I want somebody that's like, I want to help build this thing. How can I help? So so I'm gonna share this form with you guys. It's gonna be on the message. Let me know when you see it. Danny, that's exactly right.
On the chat, it's going to be like where it says chat.
Yeah, I just put if you click on the meeting chat, it's like a little bubble, couple bubbles, and there's a link with the form. You fill that out. It sends a note to John. John's my recruiting head of my recruiting, so he's going to be reaching out to you to find. And by the way, John's awesome. He's been helping us to build our team together. So you fill that form out. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to answer some questions. We need about maybe 10, 15 more minutes at the most. And what I'm going to do is address concerns. And by the way, like it's rare when you get to talk to someone, the CEO on a call, especially the first call. That's how important this time is for me. I've got to find the exact right people. So I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you all I got. So I want you guys to fill this form out within the next half hour. So after this call, get it done. John's expecting that. John's also in sales. John's also got a pipeline. John's also helping train other people. John's got a big day, but John has made this commitment to us to do this. So I just ask that you be respectful of his time. If he gets it within the next half hour, he will schedule you on a call. I don't know if he's going to call you now or call you a little bit later today, but he will reach out to you today to schedule a call with you later in the week, if not today. All right. So he may not be able to go right now, but I just need when he gets into his email, he's going to go from, whatever time it is now until 30 minutes. And he's going to be like, okay, anything that came through here, I'm calling those guys first. And so when he sits back down, he's going to call you, but he will call you at some point today to schedule a time to meet. Now, what my job is to just do what I've done so far, which is be transparent, tell you about our company, the goods, the bads, the uglies, how you get paid, the benefits, our future, our goals, and if you're the right fit. So hopefully you can see the value in that, especially for those of you that are interviewing for our commercial position. We've got big ideas, we've got big goals, and we're not playing games anymore. That's why you're on this call. So anyways, I want to open this up for questions. If you want, you can just raise your hand, or you can just do like a little. There's a little hand raise thing on the Zoom chat. But if you just raise your hand, that'd be great. So if you have a question, and I see Landon, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I'm 18 years old, and obviously I don't have that much experience yet. Is this what you say, like an entry level job that I can get to right
now? So it is the NCG position is the first position in sales for our company, but I would hardly call it an entry level job. And here's the reason I say that. There's, in my opinion, I don't want to dismiss the value of the job. It is the first job to be in sales, but here's the way I look at it. If you're scaling an organization, all right, and you start looking at the high performers in there, if you're a high performer and you come into an organization and they start making adjustments on different things that they do based on how you want it done, then that develops a culture that's based on what the salespeople, how they want to run it. And the bottom line is when you hire the next generation of people that are going to be running underneath you, if they're all doing what they want, it's different. So my point is I've created a structure, a framework, kind of what we expect, so that it makes it simple, but it also makes it scalable. The key here is we want people that are coming here for growth. And so it's about, a great leader is also a great follower. I've worked with, I don't know, you guys know who Ed Milet is? Anyways, if you know who he is, he's kind of like a Grant Cardone type guy. He's one of the best speakers in the world. But I've coached with several people in this industry. Being a good learner is also part of being a good leader. To answer your question, if I had to say, is it an entry level position? Yes, it's the first position in our company for sales. But is it? Does it pay like an entry level position? No, it pays. It's paid based on effort. I'll put it to you like this, Landon. I don't hire people that I know can't do this job at a high level. And at that point, there's only three things that I need. I need intelligence, so you can learn this stuff quickly. I need integrity, because I don't work with people that I don't trust. And you shouldn't either. Nobody should. And then three, I need grit. I need people that are going to wake up with fire in their belly and not say no or quit when it goes down. This is something I do with my sales rep. Throw me a piece of that little a marker for me real quick. I want to show you something real quick. If you think about it, and this is not a good one. If you got a better one, can you find me one? Can y'all see this? This little board? No, you can't see it. My background's blurred. I'll put it to you like this. We're all in the same race. Can you get my black background where it's not blurred? We're all in the same race. Okay? The difference in the race is who drops off. Because we're all, what's the goal? Everybody wants to be successful, wants to have all their bills paid, wants to pay their house off. Everybody wants to be not have to worry about money anymore. Everybody's in the same race. So who makes it to the end? It's the people that never stop trying. It's not intelligence for the most part. Think about it. That's what every successful person will tell you. It is about grit. It is about saying, I am not going to stop until I hit this goal. So that's the three things I look for. Hopefully I answered your question. By the way, if I go on a tangent, just maybe pop your hand up sooner, because I'm very passionate about what we're doing here, guys. So thanks for that question. I appreciate you. And I love questions, by the way. Yeah, Marquis.
Hey Scott, I just wanted to say I appreciate when you brought up about within your company you value not having your employees on the salary, because I admit that when you're on the salary, it kind of hard to like kind of work or put in that extra effort and try to grow yourself and grow the company if you're just going to be paid a set amount. And in my experience, I'm 23 years old. I've been working since I was 17 in high school. I mentioned early college program. So all my life, I've always known ambition and working hard. However, just I guess when that standard is not being set in terms of your effort and the reward, it's kind of hard to kind of maintain that momentum. I just wanted to say, as somebody that's getting into sales for the first time, I'm actually quite intrigued about the subject. At one point, I had a salesman come to my house when I was with my folks. It was a roofer, and that experience kind of just brought me to the idea of this company of working with roofs and whatnot. My question to you is, what can you say to somebody who is just entering into the field of sales, but who has passion of speaking to people, who has passion of helping people and helping themselves to have that self-discipline?
Great question.
What would you say? Yeah.
Great question. What are the, and I'm sorry to cut you short, Marquis, just because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but I do want to address that and answer it. In my opinion, all right, this is getting into sales in general, whether it's roofing sales or any other type of sales. And it's easy enough for those of you that have been in sales. What's the one thing that you always hear? It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Okay. Part of it. Yes. I think it's two-pronged. I think it's a numbers game, but it's also a matter of when you're talking to your prospects, being able to transfer your belief to them. And the way that is done is through continual education. Guys, I am a studier of sales. If you guys don't know who Russell Brunson is and you're getting into sales, one of the first books I would read is some of his materials, because he's literally broken down sales from every one of the greats. But to answer your question, one, it's numbers. You got to put up numbers. You got to decide if this is what I want to make. I make this much per sale. This is my closing rate. And we have what's called the Mammoth money goal that literally breaks it down piece by piece. It says, okay, what do you want to earn? Okay, this is the average job size. This is the commission on the job size. This is the tier that you need to be at. This is your closing rate. This is how many doors you got to knock on to talk to a person. This is how many appointments you got to set to be able to get a close. It's all relevant and it's all numbers, right? But also, how do I reduce the number of people that I have to talk to get an appointment? How do I increase the number of closes that I get with the number of people that I speak to when I try to convince them? And that's all done by studying. So education and effort, those two things. Was there another hand raised? I didn't see.
I have a question. I don't know if I'm out of turn, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So I've been an insurance adjuster now for the past 5 or 6 years. So you can imagine I meet a lot of people that need roofs or whatever. So, my question is that how would that experience, maybe translate over to this? Because I've written estimates, I've done all of that stuff. So how could I use that experience to translate into this job?
First of all, creating trust with your customers.
Okay.
I mean, just an adjuster. We've had adjusters work with us, and I saw a question about. I had 2 questions coming up. So, yes. So first of all, it's building trust with customers. You've got to be able to build. You got to be able to build up that trust, and so part of it is, like I said, reputation. Our company's built a reputation. We've got lots of reviews, and so that helps build the trust. But when you talk knowledgeably about the insurance process, how it goes, and things like that, now you've created more trust with your client base. So I think that just the knowledge of how that process works is going to be really valuable as you're starting to build trust with your customers. And Sam, I've got you had a question too. I want to address one thing that I saw in the chat that came in just before yours, Sam. So let me just chat with it. By the way, did I answer your question, Maurice?
Yeah, that was a good answer.
Good.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to leverage that knowledge to really take advantage of building that trust. I got a question, and I'm going to tell you how this question came, and then I'm going to tell you what happened. I had somebody that just got on this call. They asked me in a private chat. They said, "Is this?" They said here. So this is door to door. And then I went to reply to him directly and said, "Hey, I'm going to answer that question for you right now." He's already left the meeting. Okay. So let me tell you something about what when people ask me, "Is this door to door?" Because they asked me, "Do you have other lead sources? Do you get other lead sources?" First of all, Luis is in charge of my marketing. I'm looking at him right here. So Luis does all of my marketing. So that's social, that's Meta, that's Google search, that's mailers, that's billboards we're looking at now. Like, I do a lot of marketing, and I get a lot of leads, and I give a lot of those leads to my sales reps. Okay. If I just had a company that did marketing and then spent that marketing, gave it to people, think about it like this. Those are all company generated leads. A company has to spend the money to get the leads. All right. So in order to spend the money to get the leads, that money has to come from somewhere. The way that I pay my sales reps is I pay them as much as I possibly can on self-generated business. And when I'm doing that, I'm now incentivizing them to go get business on their own. I'm teaching people how to fish instead of handing them a fish. So if I'm teaching people how to get the business, now they are empowered. Okay. Let me explain to you what happened in COVID. A lot of people found out that a nice cushy salary where you get a bunch of leads and then you get a small percentage of the profit. They found out the hard way that if you're not a producer of things, you are last on the totem pole when it comes to, or you're not last on the totem pole. So you're the last one that's going to lose the job because you're the one that's bringing in the revenue. So I teach people how to bring in revenue by going out into the marketplace and finding the business. Okay. So one of the ways that we do that, yes, it's door to door. I know people have hail damage. I know they got to get their roof replaced. I know they got to make a decision in 90 days. Of course, I'm going to go knock on their door because there's 15 other people knocking on their door looking for the business. And if I'm sitting back in my lawn chair in the office, waiting on somebody to call, I'm going to go broke. In 2018, I stepped out of my truck with nothing but a contract. And I started knocking on people's doors, asking them if I could do their roof. That's how I started this company. I've done it for 14 years. I've knocked 35,000 doors, and it's changed my life. So I am unapologetic about, what's that?
I got a question that came in specifically to that on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It says, what's your favorite book that you saw has helped scale your business?
Oh, Traction, hands down.
Traction?
EOS system with Traction. So anyways, I do want to answer that too. I love that book. But my point is this, guys. Like, I've built this business on door knocking. And AI is coming, by the way. If you're not leveraging AI in your businesses, you are going out of business. There's not even a question. 90% of businesses are going to have a real struggle in the not too distant future because they're not leveraging AI, which we are. So we're leveraging AI, we're leveraging ChatGPT, we're doing all those things that are going to help us to beat our competitors. But there is no There's no robot yet that can go talk to somebody in their homes and make them feel like a human being. There's no one that can come to your door and say, hey, listen, I know there's a lot of people that can solve your problem. I want to tell you why I can solve your problem the best. Okay. They're not going to pick up the phone and call you. They're going to talk to the people that are there asking to talk to them. And you can't refute me on that. You can try, but I've done it for 15 years and it's worked for 15 years. And I train on that. By the way, when I started, I only made about 80 grand my first year. I didn't make six figures until my second year, maybe even my third. But by the end of that 2018 timeframe, right before I started Mammoth, that's when the multiple six figures came. And it's all the stuff that I learned over the years. So I teach all that stuff in how to go find a business, how to talk to people. And so I'm very passionate about teaching people how to fish, by teaching people how to go get business, teaching people how to build relationships, go talk to real estate agents, go talk to property managers, go talk to insurance agents, go talk to people that can get you leads without you having to go knock on people's doors. But when you first start, it's low-hanging fruit. Right now in San Antonio, Texas, there are tens of thousands of homes right by SeaWorld with roofs that have damage. And for those of you on this call that have an entrepreneurial spirit, there's no license in Texas required to go be a roofer. Go get a hammer and a couple contracts, and now you can go sell roofs. So imagine how much easier it is to compete against people that are running their business like that. We are buttoned up. We have sales presentation tools that we use, iPads. We have equipment that we give our team so they look like professional inspectors and roofers. We wrap their trucks for them. We are buttoned up, and that's how we've been able to win. So to answer your question, is this door to door? We get a lot of our business from door to door, and that's how we've been able to scale our company and grow it and build leadership teams. But no, I also get other leads from other places. And guess who I give those leads to? It's the people that have shown success doing it at door to door. You know why? Because if I spend, let's say, $500 on a lead and I give it to somebody, they're going to go knock the doors around it and get me 2 more deals. So in fact, I don't know why every roofing company on the planet doesn't do that. Right? I do not hire people that are lead babies. That's what I think. That's what I think. That's the way I feel. I want people that have grit, that are willing to go hustle, that are thinking outside the box about how I can get leads. Had a guy that came in who's like, he's like, man, my wife is really good on social media. I was thinking about leveraging social media and some of the stuff that I'm doing in the field to help I was like, that's a great idea. Just run the content by me and let's go. Like, I'm in. I get ideas from everybody on my team because, like, you guys have heard of this concept. If you guys have read Napoleon Hill, he wrote a book. He wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, and it's the idea of personal belief and manifestation, and also the mastermind concept. Like 2 minds are better than one. We come together on something. We're going to be, especially if we're all rowing in the same direction. Everybody here is seeing this vision, the same thing that I see. 3 years from now, we're standing on a stage in Florida, and there's 400 people with our employees and their families, and we're celebrating our victory for all we've done over the past few years. And we use it as recruiting. We bring other people from other organizations. Come on in, come see what we're doing. Let's celebrate. They all see what I see. So anyways, that's hopefully answered the question. Sorry. That was good. And I did want to address this. We got a question online. They're asking about the book on scale. I read Traction for the first time. I will say this: there are EOS implementers, and if you haven't met with one, I'd say meet with one. They're not cheap. Implementation can sometimes be difficult and take a longer time, but we've been doing it pretty consistently for the last 2 or 3 years. And I think we've really seen the results in the last 8 months. And that's because of this commitment to that idea and growing leaders. That's one of the biggest keys, is growing leaders. Another question.
Last question. Do you believe success with door-to-door sales is based more so on the words used or nonverbal communications?
Nonverbal, not even a question. Nonverbal, not even a question. It is body language. It's confidence. We in our training, we teach CLEAT, which is confidence, listening, attitude, and tone. And I'm blanking on what the E is. I'd have to. Bottom line is tone is super important. If you guys have seen Wolf of Wall Street or Jordan Belfort, any of the stuff that he teaches as far as tone, I'm not speaking to his character in the past. I'm just speaking to his training is awesome. He does he focuses on tonality, the way that you speak, but confidence is huge. The way you approach a client, the way you approach the way that you speak to them. Even the down tone. Have you guys ever heard of Jeremy Minor? He's another one you should pay attention to. Jeremy Minor wrote the NEPQ Black Book of Questions, and that's just another way of creating that relationship. So, in my opinion, it's tonality. I think the scripting, if there's any that's involved, should be punchy and focus more on creating a framework. So that's what we do. We have a framework where we give our reps have you guys have ever heard of Adam Bensman in our industry? He wrote he does great training. His thing called SLAP, which is a four prong kind of strategy for approaching doors. Ours is called Groove, and so the things that it adds on to that is verifying the decision maker is going to be there and end with 2 times to set an appointment.
And I think a lot of the tonality and the confidence that our salespeople have compared to other companies is the integrity that Scott provides for the company. It's easier to have faith in what you're selling when you know the company that you're working for has your back in integrity, in the quality, and
Are you mic'd up?
No, but they can hear me.
Okay. Yeah. So Luis is just, I didn't know if y'all could see him. And by the way, for those of you that are on the interview portion right here, we're doing a live stream right now. So I don't want you guys to feel like you got to hang out. Like we're just chatting with some of the people that are asking questions. But if these questions provide value to you, feel free to stay. I'm going to probably go for about another maybe 5-6 minutes. So feel free to hang tight. But yeah, I think Luis has a point there. When I'm selling, and Sam, did I answer your question, by the way? Trevino?
No.
Let-
I went ahead and just put my hand down and let you go on.
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead. I want to answer your question right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, my experience is I actually do the installation of roofs as well. And I know you said that there's some that we would have to get on the roofs and provide everything, but from what I'm gathering, this is more of a sales position than the actual work itself. Is that a correct assumption, or?
Yeah, this is for the sales. Yeah, this is more for sales. The actual labor work for the guys, we have crews that they may be hiring, but I can put you in touch with them. But yeah, this is for sales.
Okay, thank you.
Was there another question online?
No,
Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, I can't see any other hands raised. What? Landon, go ahead. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. So you were talking about raising up in leadership and how you want to grow as the company, which, I like that. I have some plans for the future, but nothing is really set in stone. And honestly, like, I'll be willing to work here my entire life. It's a good, if I find that it's good for me and it's good for my life and move on with my family and all that. And everything just seems great. It's almost too good to be true. I had to look it up, to make sure I'm not in some scam just because of how good, everything was sounding. I was like, oh, but
yeah, we are a real company with real people that work here. Now, I know it. What's funny, you say that, Landon. I appreciate that comment, man. If it's a comment like that, I'd love to hear about it. When you meet with John and myself, I did have a guy one time, like, because when I was doing my thing here, the streaming, he's like, "You doing this?" I'm like, "Hey," he's like, "Are you AI?" Like he thought I was like an AI bot, like doing that. So anyways, guys, if there's no other questions, and Landon, I appreciate that comment. Did you have a question though, or is that just kind of a comment?
Yes, sir. I was going to talk about how do you? I know you said it's an effort thing, but like, how do you look at somebody and go, that is a leader, that is somebody that I want to move up in the position?
So how do we what metrics do we look at to gauge somebody's ability to lead? It's really actually very simple. We have a culture here: integrity, reputation, growth, service, and relentless advocacy. I hire, fire, and promote based on people's commitment to our goals and our culture. Meaning, if you come in here and you show those traits, you know, you got the grit, you're working hard, you're hitting your goal. Like it's meritocracy. Meaning, if we're explaining that this is what's the expectation, then if you hit the expectation, then we're looking at you. You know, it's really simple actually. That it's, I mean, there's so many places where you go and it's not made clear what the expectation is. Like that's the biggest problem I've seen a lot of times in corporate America, especially, is like, why aren't you producing? It's like, well, what exactly do you want me to do? And so that's one thing I work with my leadership team is like, guys, we need crystal clear clarity on what success looks like and what failure looks like, and they need to know exactly what we expect. So there will be no question about what's expected if you want to move up. So
Sounds great.
guys, last thing I want to say is this: is there are tons of different jobs out there, and you guys have taken this time out of your day to meet with me on a call with all these people, not knowing who I was or what I was going to say or anything. You've taken this time to talk to me about what we're looking to do here and what our plan is, and it means a lot because you've been respectful. You've been on the camera. You've been. I mean, you should see some of the stuff I see with people that are on these cameras. They're like, I mean, I had this girl who's like laughing, texting on her phone like the whole time. Like, what's going on here? Like, this is actually an interview. So I had a guy show up. It was kind of dark in the background, and he kind of leans up, and the guy's got like no shirt on. I'm like, buddy, like just a little bit of a hint for next time you're interviewing, just throw a shirt on there, you know? So, anyways, I want to just thank you guys for being respectful. I really appreciate that. And if we decide that it's not a fit, I don't want you guys to feel like you're not a perfect fit somewhere else. Cause I'll tell you this, there's a lot of jobs that I didn't get that I thank God that I didn't get. I believe that everything happens for a reason. So if it doesn't work out with us, there is a reason for it. You may have ended up coming here and it wouldn't have fit for you, you know? But if we decide to take a chance and invite you to be a part of our team, I want to just tell you this, and this is the last thing I want to say. I will give you everything I've got. That's it.
Wow, that's great.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Servant leadership. All right. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, a good one too.
We still on?